Okay, it's working now. I'm gonna do a wiggle and then I'll see if it pops up 20 seconds later. Okay, it's working now. Okay, we are live. Yeah. Okay, it is confirmed we are now live. All right. Hey everyone, welcome to the Festival of Lights 2020, 8 Crazy Nights. Thank you so much for being here today with us. We are here for two very special reasons. The first reason is to raise money for the national bailout. And the second reason is to celebrate our community and deepen our connections with each other by all of these different artists from all different kinds of genres and cities and places and styles and art forms, all sharing their incredible art and love and time with us, and getting to celebrate them. And like Alexander up here or down here, I'm not sure which, oh, he's over to this way.
Oh, yeah, there you are.
And he's going to be sharing with us some songs. But first I wanted to read you a little bit about the National Bailout, the organization that we are raising money for. So the National Bailout describes themselves as a Black-led and Black-centered collective of abolitionist organizers, lawyers, and activists building a community-based movement to support our folks and end systems of pretrial detention and ultimately mass incarceration. We are people who have been impacted by cages, either by being in them ourselves or witnessing our families and loved ones be encaged. We are queer, trans, young, elder, and immigrant. And so if you'd like to donate, whatever you'd like to donate, down there in the description, you'll find a link and you can donate at any time, and we'll be accepting donations throughout the entirety of the 8 nights of the festival. So welcome to night 2, and we'll jump right into it with Alexander. So Alexander is a New York-based artist, originally from Boston, now living in Queens. His EP, Peace and Property, deals with the loss of his dad in 2011, his brother in 2018, and his departure from the Christian church. In quotes, "We seldom celebrate the losses in our lives, but it is the search for what is missed that eventually leads us to ourselves." Thank you so much for being here, Alexander. I'll let you take it away, and hope everyone enjoys. I know they will.
Cool. Thanks for having me. Hello, everyone. I can't see you all, but you all can see me, so that's kind of cool, kind of creepy. I'm going to share a few songs from my EP, Peace and Property. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Prime. But my my artist name is Alexander, ALXNDR. And the first song that I'm going to do is Evelyn Street, which if you're from Boston, if you know Mattapan, if you know Blue Hill, you know Evelyn Street. All right, here we go. Let's hope this works. See, we were living in this 3-story building, somehow on the 4th floor. I guess that's really just an attic. We still fit 6 kids in there, 2 parents beyond blessed. Dad was somehow always stressed, but mom kept us all sane. You watch my back, I watch your back. That's Alexander gang, young and wide-eyed, looking for role models. Daddy would never let me chase short skirts and gold bottles. See, Daddy was a preacher, and Daddy married him a Sunday school teacher. We knew the Bible well. Not quite sure on just how to live it yet. See, Dad wanted me to follow in his footsteps. My brother was the one getting respect, though. See, my father and Alex, they always had beef. But when it came to Sticky, I mean, so did the police. He was a beast. 6'4", hustling streets, couldn't tell who to follow. But the weakest wouldn't be for me. Fast forward to 15. It's crazy how Daddy's still preaching. loved and revered by all the deacons. But Alex was in and out of jail till the judge went and sent him back to hell. Not Hades, but Haiti. It's close enough. That's just what happens when you grow up a wild immigrant. You try surviving 100-degree summers and not toughen up. Seemed like the church was the safest place to be instead of roaming through the streets. And at this church I used to go to, they used to sing a song went like this. The safest place in the whole wide world is in the will of God. Well, since I'm going to church, I might as well have myself some fun. Started feeling free, bringing sinners to their knees. Fell in love with the touch of the keys and how music moves people and makes them think and believe. See, every pastor was treated like royalty. Following God made me want to become more godly. I started judging my friends, rebuking their sins, and hoping that maybe afterwards we kick it again. And then my father died, and I started to realize that life is not something that we can hold on to. So with my father in the dirt and my brother in the sand, I had to come to terms with what it means to be a man. So many questions, so many late nights studying verses, trying to find identity in a book written by someone who doesn't look like me and tells me to be a good slave. Follow this man in all of his ways. The devil is a liar, but Jesus is true. And God works in the mystery, and the devil does too. See, my father's in the ground and my brother's not around, so tell me, what the fuck am I to do? Whew. That's Evelyn Street. Thank you guys for listening. I can feel you guys cheering from your couches virtually. Yeah, that song's tough always to do because it touches on a lot of things I was going through. But as Connor said in my bio, you know, this EP really helped me understand grief and helped me deal with the passing of my brother and my father. And it helped me take a long look at some of the things I was participating in. And one of those things was the church. And I kind of came to this resolve when it came to, you know, people not being there for you in the church, people supposing to be part of this larger thing. And I lost belief in that system. But instead of talking about it and getting all therapeutic, I'm gonna sing about it real quick. I don't believe you. I don't believe you anymore. I don't believe you. No, I don't believe you anymore. There's a preacher in the pulpit spewing that bullshit. But don't get it twisted, no. See, he ain't the culprit. It was written this way, so he follows it down to the letter. Though the neighborhood's poor because of government wars, he's praying that it might get better. And I don't believe you. I don't believe you anymore. I don't believe you. No, I don't believe you anymore. Father Mackenzie, out here tricking the clergy. He's stealing your tithes, feeding you lies. Tell me now, who are you serving? Where the slaves follow masters and pastors rob masters. Our sons and our daughters like sheep to the slaughter. No, I don't want to go, no. I don't believe you. No, I don't believe you anymore. I don't believe you. I don't believe you anymore. You say the gays won't make it. Well, I think you're lying to me. You say it's good to suffer, and I think you're lying to me. You say one day he's coming. Well, I guess one day we'll see. But as for me and my house, said I don't believe you. I don't believe you anymore. I don't believe you. I don't believe you anymore. I don't believe you. No, I don't believe you anymore. I don't believe you. Said I don't believe you anymore. No. Thank you. That song is called I Don't Believe You, IDBY. Um, let's talk about that later. This next song is thank you. This next song is called Ebony. I wrote this song thinking about my sisters, and I grew up with four sisters and a very strong mother, so I had a lot of strong Black women in my life, and they gave me a lot of perspective, and my resolve and kind of what I took from one of their biggest struggles is that people always try to put them in a box. Black women are always being put in a box, being told what they can and can't do, and how they should and shouldn't be, and it's frustrating. So I wrote this song to kind of address that. For some of you, this is going to be the first time seeing me perform this with keys and tracks. So I don't have the guitar. It's a little funky to do over Zoom right now. So let me set that up. Give me 1 second. All right, can you hear the keys? Yep. All right, cool. I'm gonna turn the mic up just a little bit. Let's start the track. Skin brown all around with deep tones like mahogany. Each step shakes the ground. Heels screaming, don't bother me, no. She's got mouths to feed and she's got bills to pay. It might seem wild to you, but somehow she finds a way. But day in and day out, they open up their mouths to object what they perceive. His attitude and being rude, oh Ebony, oh why can't you try to be a bit more friendly? But what they don't see comes natural to me. When I look into her eyes, I quickly realize that all that she's wanted for people to see, yeah, oh, is nothing more and nothing less than ebony. Love flows deep from the soul and it spills over with so much passion. Hairstyled from a broken mold, but you can't touch it, so please stop asking. She might be a queen, but no, she's not on display. And she comes out on top in every season, in every shade. Still day in and day out, they try to learn just how to make her style the next trend. Since imitation is flattery, oh Ebony, then why can't we try to be the bestest of friends? But what they don't see comes natural to me. When I look into her eyes, I quickly realize that all that she's wanted for people to see, yeah, oh, is nothing more and nothing less than. So what you're telling me is that it's a felony to play a role that they don't know. But she will never be enough of ebony to satisfy the status quo. Oh, oh, oh. don't see is offered for free. If you would look into her eyes, then you would realize that all that she's wanting and all she can be, oh, is nothing more and nothing less than flesh and bone and blood and sweat. She's nothing more and nothing less than ebony. All right. Oh, wait, no. I so wanted to put this away, but I have one more song. At least one more on the piano. Love that song. Okay. So this is a song that a friend of mine wrote. Her name is Via Perkins. She goes by Via because it's way cooler. This song speaks to me every time I do it. But I also just love to do it. So I'm going to do it. It's called The Vaccine. I thought that was an appropriate song to do, especially with the news. Not that I'm urging anybody to take it. It's going to be a whole different conversation for a lot of folks, but it's a comforting piece, and I think we could all use a little comfort. Don't fear the needles. Don't fear the grave. It's all. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to get this wrong. I'm going to start over. Don't fear the needles. Don't fear the grave. Let me hold your hand. You'll barely feel the pain. I heard it said that they inject weakness to make you become strong. And I heard it said that if you don't die now, by God, you'll live long. Don't fear tomorrow, no, no. Don't fear today. It's all over now. I think we'll be okay. I heard it said that they inject weakness to make you become strong. And I heard it said that if you don't die now, by God, you'll live long. Oh, 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 all right. Thank you. I didn't write that one. That was Via. Check her out. I don't think that song is on Spotify or iTunes, but I think if you guys spam her enough, she might fall under the weight of social pressure and post it. Do I have time for one more, Connor, or is that my overtime? Okay, I got 5 minutes. Cool. All right, I'm gonna do "Light It Up." It's one of my favorites on the EP. There's also a video to it that was recorded by Terrence Ryan and the whole Love Sound Compound family. Check them out, LVSND on Instagram. But here's "Light It Up," which is, really just me spewing off thoughts in time and in rhythm and in music. So enjoy this roller coaster. Blue sweatshirt, sunlight showers her sleep, squeezing knowledge. Backpack smelling like weed. Sock off the alarm. Sent a text to my mom's. Didn't mean to disrupt it, but fuck, at least I was honest. Pay attention. Somebody paid for you to be here. So pay attention. Somebody paid for you. Focus. Can't stop touching my hair. Vagabonds keep Haiti on my wrist. One fist on my back. Got police on my neck. Yeah, that's my city. Wonder who claims who. Cause pushing it ain't pretty. Praying until it happens got me yelling at the sky. Donald Trump's a bitch. Fear for your life. Keep exercising your rights. Invite or evite. Rights. Repeat. Say, yeah, it feels good like that. Stop screaming at the people. They see you as an equal. Feels good like that. Light it up. Light it up. Just to keep it down. Light it up. Light it up. Light it up. Just to keep it, yeah. Just to keep it. Light it up. Light it up, light it up, just to keep it, yeah, just to keep it. Light it up, just to keep it down. Somebody bound to listen. Martin had a dream, and no one gave a fuck until he died. The power of the pen is something like life and death. You clever yet? You give a fuck? I heard it feels real good right there. It's okay to say you love her in public, and baby, I love you in public. And later I'ma see you in private. She's beautiful. Smile shines brighter than diamonds. Mounds of supple smooth. Leaps and bounds. Hourglass shapes and fingers travel for hours loving the lie. Not realizing an atom all die. Loving the lie. Not realizing an atom all die. Cause I don't see the point of getting emotional. And maybe I don't feel like I'm supposed to. And it's a goddamn shame. Light it up. Light it up, oh, just to keep it down. Light it up, hey, just to keep it, yeah, just to keep it, yeah. Light it up, just to keep it, yeah, just to keep it. Light it up, just to keep it down. Light it up, just to keep it down. Light it up. Light it up, just to keep it, yeah, just to keep it, yeah. Light it up, just to keep it, yeah, just to keep it. Light it up, just to keep it down. Oh, just to keep it down, just to keep it, yeah, just to keep it, yeah. Just to keep it down, light it up, just to keep it down. Oh man, thank you so much. Ooh, let's not do that one. That is the end of my set for tonight. Thank you guys for coming. Please donate if you have the opportunity. Um, Make sure you read up on the cause. It's an incredible corporate organization, and the things that they do is incredible. So, doing this because I support both Connor and the movement. Um, so, thank you guys for joining and for contributing.
That was amazing. Oh man, that was so great.
Thank you.
I'm gonna let Elena in so she can set up, but in the meantime, I just wanted to ask you a few questions.
Sure, for sure.
One thing that I'm really inspired by all the time whenever I see you perform is all the different genres and instruments and styles that you are so proficient and just beautifully expressive with. How do you go about writing a song when you have so many tools at your disposal?
I throw everything onto the screen. Sometimes I'll start with the instruments, or sometimes I'll start with the writing and the melody. But oftentimes it's a process of getting every idea out as fast as I can. Like if I have an idea, I'm gonna sit with it for like the next 4 hours and beat it to death, and just put bass lines and different guitar parts and different keyboards and synths and all that kind of stuff on there. And then I'll send it to folks and get some feedback, and they're like, this is a little busy, or I can't hear you over this part, or maybe put the horns at the end, you know what I mean? And so then it becomes more of a kind of collective work amongst people that I trust and know, and that's how it gets done.
And you talked about getting into film scoring too, right? What's that process like? Is that different from writing songs? Like, how do you go about that?
Totally different. The few film scoring projects that I've had, and some of that I have coming up, it's really about serving the purpose of the person, what they want. Maybe they want this part to be lighthearted, or they want this to be dramatic. So, um, but what I'll do is it helps to, I think piano is the one that I'm most sensitive to when I'm playing, and more expressive even. So I'll put the thing that I'm supposed to screen record over and just play and watch and just play, which is something I did growing up. Just watched TV and played piano.
Oh,
Yeah, so I would just do that, and that helps inform how I want things to move.
wow. I always hear about that, and then I'm like, wow, I just played video games.
Music to me is just a puzzle. It's just one big video game that is a little bit cooler. Well, I'm not just.
And you had a new single out this summer, "What We Say."
Yeah, for sure.
Like to talk about that a little bit and like, what it means to you?
Yeah. What We Say is a song and a video that I have out. And I released it on Juneteenth, in response to George Floyd's murder, and what took place on camera for the world to see. Seeing that, it blew my mind that there were folks who were kind of confused about the phrase Black Lives Matter. They just didn't get it. They're like, why don't you guys just say all lives matter? Or why can't you say, blue lives matter? Cops have jobs too. Like, and so I kind of got tired of explaining why we have to say what we have to say. And so I put it in a song, and it's like, um, more important than the song is kind of the image, and the video, as you see the parallel and the callback to the 60s and the riots, and with all the black bodies getting beat down by police officers, and you juxtapose that to today, and you looked at all the clips of rioters getting maced and pepper sprayed by your law enforcement, designed to serve and protect. So we say it because the fight hasn't stopped. We say it because we don't want to die. We say it because it's wild that if you don't, I guess the you're gonna allow things to continue until someone shouts out and says no. And so that was my way of demonstrating that, and making it hopefully more simple to people who just couldn't get it. Maybe it helps to see all of those images back to back to back and parallel, you know decades later. It's like, that's why we're still screaming. That's why.
Yeah, it's so important to put it in every single way that we could say it so that people understand in every single way.
For sure.
Uh, one thing that's really powerful about your music is how rich it is with like the characters of your life. And I think like even that song, "What We Say," is so rich with all of this history and people, the same way that the video is. But also, I was really struck today by Ebony and like the new arrangement. It's so smooth, so smooth.
Thank you.
I was wondering like how does your family feel about it when they feel themselves and hear themselves in those songs and kind of feel themselves like they're so alive in all of those songs.
Absolutely.
What is it like for you and for your family to, I don't know, have that represented in that way?
It's a mix of emotions, most of them positive, but it's just drawn from a lot of different experiences. So they're all crybabies. So when they listen to my stuff, they're like, "Oh my god!" I have a song about my brother, so that's touching. Even this, seeing me perform these songs is even kind of crazy. My father was a traveling pastor. You know, he played music. He has his own. He has music, like it's not on iTunes or whatever, but they have like a CD of like him singing. And so sometimes just hearing me sing, they're just like, "Oh man, I miss dad." Like, you know, I have his face. It's the craziest thing, you know. So it's like for them, it's an emotional roller coaster, I'm sure. It is for me sometimes, but after performing it so many times, you understand that I got to tell the story, whether it hurts or whatever. I got to get it out. But for them, you know, they're proud. I know that they're proud. I'm sure some of them are watching right now. So shout out to Alexander Crew. But
Yeah,
it's
they
good
were
to have
shouting
them.
that in the comments. You got to go check them out afterwards.
Okay, okay.
And just one more question before we transition to Elena. Uh,
Mhm.
whatever happened to predictability, the newsman, the paperboy?
That was definitely one of my responses on the thing.
That was one of your questionnaire responses.
I'm just a goof, man. I don't love Full House. That show is toxic for so many different reasons, but it was a really fun show to watch growing up.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, I have to ask him.
My favorite character on there was Michelle, you know, the little one, because or was it, or DJ, because DJ used to go into her room and go, "How rude," and slam the door. And I always used to think my mom would beat my ass. Like, if I ever said, "How rude," and slammed my door, what? Like, DJ was my hero. Crazy.
We all find courage in different places.
Let me get out of the way.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's such a pleasure to have you. Absolutely amazing music. And I can't wait to hear you play more and hang out more. So thank you again.
For sure. No problem. Thank you guys.
Yeah. All right, Elena, we're ready for you. How's it going? You're muted real. I muted, sorry. I accidentally muted you. There we go.
There we go. We're all set. Hi. How are you?
Hey, welcome to the Festival of Lights and Sound. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And so I want to tell the audience that one of the goals of this festival was to include other kinds of art besides just music and poetry. And that's why it's so special to have these little interludes of like conversations with different artists. And so you're our first visual artist of the festival.
Oh,
And
oh
very,
wow. I'm
those,
honored.
yeah. And I'm just going to give a quick introduction and then I'm going to let you take it away. So Helena La Rota Lopez is a multidisciplinary artist working in New York City. Born and raised in Bogota, Colombia, she moved to New York in order to pursue an artistic education, first studying liberal arts at Sarah Lawrence College. Elena focuses on exploring the languages of multiple disciplines and using their expressive potential in her artwork. She seeks to capture the stories and characters that define reality, like portals into various worlds. Her inspiration stems from mutations of beautiful and grotesque, especially as transmitted through anatomy, visual art, folklore, music, and contemporary dance forms. Elena's work is an organic web of painting, drawing, printmaking, sculpture, and performative installation, which features her musical and choreographic compositions. Cool. Wow. That's so exciting.
So let me share my screen. I prepared a little presentation. Let me know. Can you see it?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. I'm low-key terrified of presenting on Zoom because something always happens. Okay.
Don't get so far.
All good. Okay. So yeah, I guess I thought maybe I'd give a little overview of my work. Um, it's kind of an impressive number of slides, but I'm just gonna breeze past them because I think the key of the description would be multiple disciplines. I struggled for a long time trying to choose a single thing to focus on, and then kind of realizing that every single discipline has a different language. Sciences have a language, and then um, mathematics is a different way of expressing, and then music and dance. So alongside with different languages come different ways of thinking. and different problem solving skills. So I really wanted to create artworks that combined one or more of them. And I wanted to focus on the performative installation that I did last year. And it's a part of an ongoing project that I'm really excited about. It's called the Bestiary. And, you know, it's kind of like one of those ideas that kind of takes hold on your head, and then you think about it and you dream about it, and it kind of becomes more and more and more. So I just want to breeze through a little bit my references. I love anatomy, and I've always been fascinated by it. Always looking at Leonardo. He was such a cool dude. I love Leo. Um, and it really caught my attention how anatomy relates to architecture, how they use a similar system of proportions, and that also applies to astronomy. At the same time that it applies to intervals in music. So when you see like the completely different universes kind of mirroring, echoing each other, and the same applies to dance. No, it's like anatomy and motion, and it's the most beautiful. You can see the human bodies in the most beautiful, the most grotesque ways, configurations, and oh, this is Ohana Harin. I love his work. So yes, when I finally decided to study visual arts, it was more as an understanding of focusing all of these different influences into a single lens. So I just created kind of a storyboard of artists. This will be online. I can publish it. So anybody who wants to do a little bit of research is welcome to use this. And I mean, see, this is, I'm just breezing through it, but it's the use of color as an expressive device, the use of composition, and there is something about the different materials. These are more contemporary artists that I'm constantly looking at. And this is my own work, so there's always a lot of preparation. I think too much. There's like an insane amount of note taking, and this was a print. So I started as a printmaker in 2015, and this is playing with architecture. That's the inverted blueprint of the Cathedral of Milano, and the stages of pregnancy. And this is also bouncing off of architecture, anatomy, and it's kind of a self-portrait in the sense that it's the soul rooted in the body, but covered by the dome of the mind. So there's always this relationship, like a symbolic relationship between the three. And later on, it started going from more 2D to 3D. I wanted to push out of, the two planes. So started playing with mixed media, eventually also playing with music because it's such an ethereal material to work with. And continuing anatomical studies, which it's just incredible we had the opportunity to be in a dissection class and just seeing how this machine that we are given works. It's so beautiful. And it brought me to this, which is what I'm here to talk about. So the Labyrinth was an installation. It's 15 by 15 by 20 feet. And it had to be installed and deinstalled within the same day because I only had the castle for a day. So think theater, you think props. So it was an insane amount of planning, but it was all problem solving. It was so like, how do you set up a web, like a universe? How can you contain a space, and create a stage? And the more I thought about it, the more I thought that's kind of a psychological portrait, and it's not really, it really needed to feel like an organism, like a breathing, living organism. And then I thought that's kind of a mental portrait. That's kind of a labyrinth, And then I thought, what's in the center of the labyrinth? The monster. No, and the more you research, a monster, legendary animal, combining features of animal and human form, and it's always portrayed as something abnormal or monstrous or something frightening. It's usually like in mythology or whatever, it's an obstacle to be surmounted, or in fairy tales, it's something evil. And even here in this random definition I found online, any creature so ugly or monstrous as to frighten people. And you think, frighten who? Because who is the monster? you know. And I've always been very curious to why humans define themselves, or how we define ourselves as humans, because we possess reason. That's supposed to be like our defining characteristic, and reason just gives us the power to justify anything. So really, reason has been the tool of terrible monstrosities throughout history. And anyone who loves literature, I mean, kind of this train of thought, or wonders about this. Um, what was it? It's a book by Susan Sontag regarding the pain of others. That was a very central work in the creation of this piece, because it's, how do we really empathize with someone else, and do we, to a certain extent, are we confronted with so many images of horrible things that we just create a callus and we can't feel anything? So this was an attempt at making a portrait of that monster. You know, who is that misunderstood creature? What really is the line in between something beautiful and something horrible, and who defines it? You know, and I think I'm gonna this the performance was documented by an amazing photographer, Megan Sundley. She was incredible. So these were all of the materials that were involved in the construction. And in the center was a ceramic basin. And the whole idea is it's hollow. So inside is a speaker that played the music that I wrote and had recorded prior. It's a song based on a poem. So it really felt contained. It was, the bottom was filled with soil, and it was incredible. The smell of soil was, it impregnated the air, and it just created an entirely different universe. And there's the monster. So the choreography was it was very, at the same time, difficult and easy to make, because it was, I didn't want it to be pretty. I wanted it to be visceral. So I studied, I went to Gaga classes. It's a type of dance. It's wonderful. Every single week. And you have to dance from your gut.
Oh,
And yeah, what I love about that type of dance is you don't use mirrors. You're not supposed to see yourself dancing. You're supposed to feel yourself dancing. So yeah, these are a couple more pictures of, I'll leave the video under comments if anyone wants to see the whole thing.
yeah, please do.
Yeah, and yeah, it was a ritual, really. It was a very, an incredible experience. And now I am working on the next succession of monsters, so I've started planning the hostess. And the amazing Sarah Peters had a master class, and she helped me. She made us go to the Met, take all of the pictures we wanted, and then make collages with them. And that was the best brainstorming process. So these are some images. The next one will be the Minibus.
Is a Minobus the same as a Minotaur, or
Yeah,
this?
Vos as, I mean, I'm probably like butchering the pronunciation, but from what I read, it's a cow in ancient Greek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so instead of the root taurus, which is bull, then cow.
What I'm noticing between these pictures here, and then also your depiction of the monster in the installation, is it sort of a mix of the grotesque with the feminine form?
Yes, it really goes in between the definition of monster, because I think it's so fascinating that throughout history men have been so terrified of women's bodies. Absolutely, and you wouldn't believe, like the etching with the stages of pregnancy. When it was hanging in my studio, usually women loved it, and men were really freaked out by it. It's really interesting. So it's about the definition of what deviates from the normal, you know, and and the reality is that there is no, the reality that we live in does not have spaces that are conceived for monsters, you know, and monsters then could be seen as any person or any group of people who has been excluded from what is considered normal.
It's
So yeah, you were saying?
it's interesting that when you created the space, like the center of the labyrinth, and called this being a monster, it was almost as if you were creating a stage where we were told that this thing was monstrous, whatever this being was. And I wonder if we did the reverse, if we took that same being and put them in a space where the space was accepting and the space was trying to say that everyone was welcome, if that same being would seem as grotesque to us. You know what I mean? It feels like you're pointing out the kind of the horror of the way that we create spaces. And I wonder what it would be like if we did the opposite, if we created a space that was trying to show empathy instead of horror.
Hmm. Yeah, and the problem is sometimes it's not even the space, sometimes it's just the label. Because who decided that person was a monster?
You did. No,
Yeah, exactly. And it's just and then like but you call it the monster, and then the idea is for people to walk in, and it's important that they are intruding into someone else's space. No, and that's why the soil was so important, because it needed to be destabilizing. It needed to be, jarring in a way. And that for there to be a certain amount of discomfort, because it's projecting what one feels when one is not welcome in a space into the other person who is usually welcome. So it is that kind of the concept of the invasion of a space, and then how to make that space welcoming. So that's what I want to do with the hostess, really, is from turning it into a really strange kind of disquieting space, and the movements were also very violent, so very like contained, but very, it was a very strong emotion. So the idea with the hostess is, yes, of course it's going to be weird. You're being invited into a space by a woman whose face is covered, and she's offering you tea. So that's kind of like, no. But the way you play with the space, and the way, depending on what materials you use, are they sitting on branches or eggshells or cushions or velvet? No. So that also, what does the air smell like? So that also kind of percolates into the subconscious reactions of people, and that's why I find it so fun to play with. So yeah, these are just, this is just my mind going places, and these are all future monsters I want to do. But definitely the state of being a woman, and that, you know the the situation of having a body that is really complicated to have, because it has been subjugated throughout history and called so many different names for so many unjust reasons.
We're running a little bit out of time, so I just wanted a couple more questions.
Questions, absolutely.
What were people's reactions when they entered the space with the monster in that installation in the bestiary? And especially because you're focusing on gender, did you notice a difference in the way that people of different genders reacted when they were welcomed into that space?
Definitely. Yeah, there were two opposite reactions that really caught my attention. One was a guy who really didn't want to step in, and I thought it was funny. And then I looked down and I saw he had really expensive shoes. And I'm like, that's why, And versus a friend of mine who went in, and she was so happy. She started playing with the dirt. She was having the time of her life. And I did notice, especially because I was half naked, so that made some people like uncomfortable. But at the same time, when you're wearing a mask, you're not really yourself. No, so I felt perfectly comfortable. I noticed that men were a little bit like, on edge, a little bit, because you can see them on the spot.
What about women who didn't know you personally? Did they also react with apprehension, or do you feel like they felt more comfortable?
I think the funny thing is, this was presented at the place, at the New York Academy of Art, where I graduated. So every person who attended, it's a very small community, so every person I knew personally. But
Oh,
eventually, I would love to open it up to a space where I don't know anybody. That would be so interesting, and take notes of what people's reactions are.
yeah, because I think if I entered that space, I would be reacting to Elena as well. Like you as a person are also like in that space as much as all of the intentions of your art and of the installation. This is the way I would think about it if I entered. I'd be like, I want to make sure that I make a good impression for Elena.
Sweet. But I don't know. I know some people were startled, and that was a really good executive decision that my mentor told me to make, because I was like, should I paint my torso? Should I not? And he said, no, blend into it. And we realized, of course, if you blend into it, it's kind of a chameleon. And at the beginning, it was so interesting. People didn't see me when I snuck in because I was all red. No, and the only thing that was visible was a black mask.
Oh, wow.
People would turn around and see this red creature crawling through the space, and they were like, so somebody actually start, because I think I startled them. But it was really, it's interesting to be confronted. It also had a huge time constraint, because the way that crits were scheduled, it could only last for, I remember, like 6 minutes. No, tops. So if it had been more protracted, there would have been more of a possibility to form a relationship between the character and the people. But that's all things that I want to explore in future iterations of this.
Well, speaking of time constraints, we're on a time constraint, but thank you so much for talking about this and showing us all of your work, all the different sources and the installation. And it was so incredible talking with you and learning more about it. And I hope we should do something like this again, because I feel like there's so much more to talk about and there's so much depth in all of your work. So thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And now we're going to welcome Lily on. And I think did you guys work out if you wanted to like introduce something while Lily was?
Yes. Well, Lily, I don't know where the video has been. In the meantime, I might as well. Yeah, we actually were talking a lot about this. Lily was an incredible sounding board throughout this entire process. We're actually quite close friends. Hi.
Hi. I didn't know it was within my power to come back in. So hello, I'm here. I've been here the whole time.
Who's telling everybody the great news?
Yes, it's amazing news. I'm really, really excited for whenever it happens.
I know. Yeah, and kind of the problem right now with performance and installations is they have to be presential things, and the virus has very effectively put a standstill on all of that. But
Yeah.
For the Minovos installation, we want to do a collaboration with Lily with the music.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a soundscape. Definitely gonna pull from a lot of Greek music if I can. Use a lot of strings and loop pedal stuff. Yeah, and I do want to incorporate both of our voices. I think if you want human voices, we haven't discussed all of the logistics, but like there's so many ideas. I really love Elena's work, and I'm really, really excited to be collaborating with her. Also, I did want to mention, because you talked about people's reactions when going into the installation. I visited this installation, and I remember like I saw her come in, and I was like, oh, it's Elena. And then as soon as she started doing the choreography, it wasn't her anymore. She embodied the character so well. It was amazing. And yeah, it was a completely different experience. I had walked into like the heart of this world. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to experience one of Elena's installations, you absolutely should.
All right. Well, thank you so much again, Elena. And could you stop the screen share? And
oh my God, yes, I'm screen sharing. Bye.
Yeah, just look at those eggs. Just look at all those eggs.
I'll leave you to it.
Let me introduce Lily while we have you here. Lily Desmond is a singer-songwriter who composes herself into layers with a 5-string violin while singing. She's recently been using distortion and animal noises too.
Caw.
Lily Desmond.
Thank you, Connor. All right. Well, I guess without further ado, here we go. Also, Connor, if anything goes wrong, I'm going to rely on you to call me during the set, because I'm not going to be able to hear you because I'm going to have to take this out. So.
Okay, I'll call you.
I'm going to be playing some stuff from all 3 of my EPs/albums out there. It'll go through a little bit of an arc. I hope you enjoy it. Just one touch and all the bricks will break in place. Pray for no wind as dust kicks this undeveloped land. Flashlight in the middle of the tunnel. It was on. Had it been left, curses and blessings sweat through my dress. I've been left. In the middle of the tunnel, and it was on, and I had been left 'cause there was nothing or the sun. I wanted him to go chest to chest with me, and yet I was the one who kept going underground. But the Lord of darkness shows his kindness by pressing to your sternum what you thought you didn't need. Oh. Of darkness shows his kindness by pressing through your chest. Oh, the Lord of darkness shows his kindness by pressing through your sternum, saying, more weight. I give you strength for 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 more weight. give you strength for more people. I give you strength for more children. I give you what was always yours. I give you atmosphere. I give you strength of thousands. Everything okay? Oh no! All right.
I can't hear that black mic.
The black mic. Let me figure it out. Was it not playing before?
The first song sounded great, and then this one right now we didn't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Connor, I'm not on the phone. It's got to be back on the Zoom.
Yeah. Yes, we can. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, great. Awesome. I'll continue on. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah, I'll keep the chat open. Okay, so the first song that I played was from Desert, the EP that Elena actually did the artwork for. It's great. And this one is off of my newest one, Beast. Here, I'll pick up from the beginning so you can actually hear what I was saying. Connor, I'm gonna need you to come online. I'm sorry, the chat's not working.
Hey everyone, sorry about this. Lily, when you play that backing track, the mic cuts out. What's the mic connected to? Hey, when you play the backing track, the mic cuts out. Do you know what?
Yeah, I can fix that.
I think that's the trouble.
Okay, cool.
The backing track is super dope, though.
Ah, thanks.
Yeah.
That's
No, see, it's cutting out when that happens. Can you scream into the violin?
maybe later. Oh wait, I know what's up. Okay. There, I did it. Okay, let's try this again. Really?
Yeah. Can you play? Are you playing it from the same source? Like, do you have a mixer? Is the mic input into a mixer?
Yes. The mic is put into a mixer. Yeah. I mean, if this is too much, I can just skip the song and go to the next one. If this is too much technical difficulty.
Played the song from your computer and then sang over that.
That's what's happening right now.
Okay. Do you have a way to input like from your phone into the mixer?
No, unfortunately not.
Does the track work with the violin at the same time?
No. No. Yeah. Oh well, that's okay. I can skip on to the next thing. Unless, okay, actually wait, let me try one more thing. Well, it was worth a shot. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Let's continue on. I can talk about that song. That song is called Julia. It's about getting in a fight on the sidewalk, a fist fight. I will transfer over to this next song that I can do. Julia is definitely sort of like the banger of, or one of the bangers of the album. But I'm gonna be doing a music video for another song off of it called Mess. And you know what? I'm not gonna play it for you because I want you to go and listen to it on Spotify and iTunes. Ha! So instead, I'm gonna transfer over to another song that I wrote from the album called Haunt. It's on the album. It's like a kind of a power rock setup, and in my writing it, I did it on acoustic guitar. So I wanted to play it for you on acoustic guitar. So I'm gonna set that up right now. Hold, please. Hoping this is sounding okay. Looks like it's sounding okay. Good, okay. All right, I'm gonna give her this. Okay. Yikes. Can you hear me? I'm assuming everybody can. Yes, great. Okay. So this is Haunt. It's got a little bit of some violin stuff going on in the back of it. Yikes, stripes. Here we go. now that I've set up the forest, let's see what's coming through the trees. My love went back home for her thirst. An empty graveyard and turned earth. Shadows leered over her mother's shoulder, saying, wait, and maybe we'll go away when you get older. But she wanted more. It was never My love woke up to static in the night and eyes without a face. So she broke out of the house for the first time. Hungry photos and growls to the floor. She told me though she knew she was alone, she could hear, wait, you won't feel a thing when you get older. She wanted more. It was never Every night her mouth went dry, calling out to the family that kept her in bed. Then the rain came and so she got up and drove out to drink the water from the ground, take some lightning to the head. No regret, said the radio. But what does that mean when hate is witness and you still have your mind? My love knows more of dying than me, 'cause she didn't wait. There was no cover when she drove outside. Haunted by the rage of a whole countryside, and no matter what she wants, it's never It doesn't go away when you get older. This feeling that all surfaces creak and groan under me, buried, not dead, too late, gone.
catch nothing, tame no one, bring your colors down. Oh, hunter, slow down, girl, I know that you can. Oh, hunter, slow down, girl, I know that you can. Give yourself a lighter load. Stars align your road. No more for the just, and this quest for us. Oh, hunter, slow down. Oh, hunter, slow Thank you. Thank you for bearing through all of the technical difficulties. Connor, do I have time for one more? I know that we were kind of running over, and I didn't want to push anything. Yes, very definitely. Okay, cool. All right, then let's end on a humorous note. Entirely non sequitur. This is not on any album yet. I guess I dedicate this song to all of the conservative leaders that are being ousted from power right now. Here we go. You played me the fool and ran me around. You lost and had me looking my face to the ground. 'Cause somebody bigger came along, and all your towers and pedestals cracked. It didn't take long, but there were no tears or sighs, just heavy evil eyes. Oh, she had it coming. Oh, yes, she did. Oh, she had it coming. Tell me that this is not just what you're looking for. Sing along once you get to the chorus. You said the words and you did the dance. You played your part so well just to get a chance. But somebody did you an awful big wrong, and that's the reason and a rhyme and a rhythm of all of your songs. Yeah, you pitch and sway, saying that bitch is gonna pay. Oh, he had it coming. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening through all the technical difficulties again. I hope that you enjoyed. Yeah, that's my set. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that was awesome. Did you write that song or is that?
Well, I can't hear you yet. I realize. Hold on. Okay, now I can hear you.
I said, yay! That was awesome.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Did you write that song or was that a
I
cover?
did, yeah. Those were all originals. Every single one of them. Yeah.
Uh, wow, it's been really fun getting to know all of your music like across the just like all the different styles that you do and the not just genres but like feelings and like worldscapes. I feel like there's a lot of world building. Like the birds in Oh Hunter were so beautiful and I was so transported by just like that small little detail.
Oh, thank you. Good. I'm glad that worked.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And in your most recent album, I know it's the Mess. Oh, Beast. Beast is the most
Beast.
recent album.
Yes.
What are some of the like the details, those little things that you included to create the world of Beast? And could you kind of describe the world of Beast, what it is, this new project that you put out?
Wow, good question. Well, similar to how Elena was making a bestiary, I kind of made a bestiary of my own. I set up basically kind of stories all around uh, things that hurt people on the inside and then make them act uh, hurtfully towards others, basically. Like, what is a beast but somebody who is wounded, who is acting defensively? So that was kind of the approach towards everything. And it deals with a lot of themes of like how people deal with abuse, how people deal with addiction, how people deal with just internal anxiety, and how you kind of recover from, that, like what taking care of yourself actually looks like. So yeah, it's you heard the songs from the track when I was trying to play it. It's definitely a different soundscape. I just wanted to push myself into more distorted places, basically, because that's kind of where I had always wanted to be going. I always try to make my violin into something else. So yeah, that's Beast.
There's a comment from somebody in the comments. They said, "The goddamn cinematic universe."
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm so flattered. Holy shit. We'll have characters. I'll make some superheroes to fill out the goddamn cinematic universe for sure.
You did the first song, right? Wasn't that the song about like the darkness? What was that line about the dark? The first.
Lord of Darkness. That song is called Lord of Darkness. It's the last song on Desert, and it's about it's about continuing to go on through the tunnel, but knowing that there is like a light at the end of it, even if you can't see it. And the Lord of Darkness kind of is a character I came up with to sort of like represent like the friendly shadow, almost the kind that's sort of like there to, I don't know, like once you make peace with the fact that there is a shadow there, then it's just like, yeah, okay, I'm here to, remind you this is your limit, or like you're not supposed to do this anymore. That's what pain is. It is literally like in our bodies, pain is like your body's response to saying something is wrong, you need to attend to it. So when we experience emotional pain, it's something is wrong, you need to attend to it. So that's what the Lord of Darkness is. He's kind. He just looks big and scary.
Wow, I feel like that's sort of it's like a theme for tonight of these beasts actually doing things that we shouldn't be afraid of.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Definitely Beast was inspired by talking to Elena. In a lot
um,
of ways.
one more question. You one of the other things that I really love about your music is how creative it is. I feel like there's always something new or just like a different choice than I would normally hear. And when you have a full band or when you're solo, there's all these like unique elements. And I'm wondering what creative choices have you made in either recent songs or in the songs that you played today that you were like, wow, I'm really glad I made that creative choice. Like I did this particular thing, had this detail. Like what are some creative choices that you just feel like you're really resonating with you now, or you just like really nailed in like the Beast project?
God, Connor, you're so good at asking questions. God, creative choices that I'm really proud of.
for Lord of Darkness, I am very proud of the fact that that's one of the first songs that I did on loop pedal, where I actually, like the way that my pedal works, I have to build up a loop, and then I get to the end of it, and most of the songs go like this, and then they just drop. And for that one, I actually erase the loop that I build in the middle of the song and build up a new one. During the more way part where I start speaking into the violin, that is an entirely new loop. So I was very proud of myself. I was able to use technology in that way to still create sort of like an interesting arc to a song that wasn't just the V shape the entire time. Yeah. And then for Beast, I don't know, most creative decisions in Beast I'm really proud of, because I feel like I really tried to push myself to do different things with writing, different things with sounds. I hadn't really used synths before. I'd never written a drum part in my life, really, except for, the ones that I use on the violin, but like one for a drum kit. And then for the songwriting ones also, Oh Hunter is like, that's definitely been like a compassion anthem for my entire life. And basically every song that I try to do, I kind of try to approach it with a different character, like a different perspective and viewpoint. And that was the first song I had written, I think, at the time, that I was really like trying to be kind to the listener without being condescending in the lyrics. So that's something I'm proud of in that. Yeah, and then Had It Coming, that's just silly. That's just fun. I don't let myself write fun things very often, and that was a really good time. So
Yeah.
mhm.
Exactly what you just said about your intention of O Hunter. That is how I received it, especially today.
Yay! Ooh, sorry. Good. I'm glad.
It was really wonderful, and just as wonderful as you are as a human being. So
Shucks, Connor. Well, thank you for putting together this amazing 8-night festival and for having me be a part of it. I'm really honored.
yeah, thank you for being a part of it. Yeah, I could say more wonderful things, but we would take another 8 crazy nights to get to that. So,
It would definitely.
so instead, we're gonna move on to Beth from How's About Charlie. Thank you again, Lily. And everybody check out all of her stuff in the description, as well as all the other artists, and donate in the description too.
Yes, donate in the description. All of my music is on Spotify and iTunes. And also, if you buy Beast from Bandcamp, all the proceeds from that album go to the Trevor Project and the there's another mental health association that I'm totally blanking on the name of right now, but it's those two charities. That's where all the proceeds go to. So yeah. All right, thank you.
Yep, thank you. And we're welcoming Beth, who's going to come on and talk to us about mental health and art, actually.
Hi, I'm not able to turn my video on for some reason.
That might be my fault.
Oh, yeah. Okay, start my video. Sweet.
Okay, I might have accidentally blocked you guys. Hey, everyone.
We figured it'd be fine for me to chat, all of us on the couch, rather than like change locations.
Yeah. So I'm going to introduce. So one of the other really fun aspects of this festival is trying to include organizations that work with music or community. And so Beth here is here to talk about Art with Impact. And Art with Impact promotes mental wellness by creating spaces for young people to learn and connect through art and media. So that's our jumping off point. Beth, could you introduce yourself? And we'll get to introducing How's About Charlie and the other wonderful people on this couch in a sec.
Totally, yeah. My name is Beth Killian, or Bethany Killian, both valid ways to address me. And I've worked with Art with Impact for about 4 years, and they're just an incredible organization. So I'm really grateful that you're open to having the time for me to chat about them. So yeah, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So what is Art with Impact besides the short bio? Like, what do they do? And
Totally. Yeah, so it's a nonprofit organization that's based like remotely, kind of. So it's a really small team, and we have facilitators across the country and a couple in Canada as well. But it is a really small team, and really the goal is to reduce the stigma that's so often associated with mental illness. And we particularly work with like transitional age youth and young adults. And so the main thing that we do is we host workshops it used to be in person on campuses. Obviously, that's not happening now, but we've been able to shift our workshop to a virtual platform. And it has been such an, like, my mind has been blown with how successful it's been in continuing these conversations and creating this platform for students to connect with each other and with resources on their campus. And so both in person and virtually, the workshops center around a couple of short films. And the short films always focus on mental illness. And every single month we host a short film competition. So filmmakers from across the whole world can submit short films as long as it's under 5 minutes and related to the topic of mental illness. And so we've had like teenagers submit films who have never held a camera before in their life. We've had like world-renowned filmmakers submit films. So our collection is really broad and really diverse. And we rotate and shift the films that are shown at each workshop, really trying to highlight both kind of things that the school is hoping to center, but also at the end of the workshop, there's space for 1 or 2 students to share their personal stories, and then for campus and community representatives to kind of like connect students with the resources that exist on their campus and within the community, really just so students can like, and students and participants can just recognize like, okay, I'm not alone in this. You know, stigma is real. Mental health is something that can be talked about. And so here are the ways that we can do this. And so it's a really neat way to use art. And of course, you know, the short films have music and spoken word and visual art. And so it's a really great way for folks to connect to the art form that speaks most to them. So yeah, that's kind of like a really long answer, but
Are you one of the facilitators? Do you work in that aspect?
I am, yeah. So I facilitate. I used to travel to colleges. Now I do it from my home. But we host a number of workshops every month at schools all over, and it's really powerful watching how vulnerable folks get in a virtual space too, which was what I was worried about when we made the shift. But it's we use like a public chat forum, and I think the level of anonymity, I always mess up that word, but the level of anonymity really fosters this really safe space where people can talk about like things that are actually going on. We also always have a mental health counselor who's present at the workshop if someone wants to direct message one-on-one, just to really highlight safety and resources and connection and things like that.
When you're working with the students or the participants, what's some of the feedback about what kinds of art or what aspects of the art do they connect with that help them deal with these kinds of topics? Like, what is it? Do they tell you like, oh, I really love this aspect, this really helped me? What is it about the art that you show that helps them with that?
That's a really great question. And I think it really does differ from person to person. A lot of folks have really connected with some of our films that highlight spoken word. A lot of folks resonate with, like, we also kind of break it down and talk about the filmmaking choices. So like, what did the music represent for you? How did the lighting help to tell this story? And so it really kind of depends. And I think that's what I like most about it, because everyone looks at the same piece of art and can get something different from it. And it's a cool opportunity to really explore that and explore what that means.
Are there aspects of mental health, or I guess just life in general, that the participants are like, they're dealing with, either they're like asking for more conversations about, or they don't feel it's talked about enough, or they feel like in this particular time they're struggling with more, I don't know what the right word is, but just more so, I guess.
I mean, I think isolation is a really big topic that comes up lately, is trying to find connection and meaning when things are so different right now. But I had something else I wanted to say, but I forgot. But I think beyond just this moment that we're in, I think that a lot of people just kind of get a lot out of recognizing that stigma is real, and that kind of the message that we receive in pop culture and in mass media. You know, there's part of the workshop where we talk about like, what movies and TV shows have you seen lately that show mental illness or mental health? And how are the characters portrayed? And is that accurate? And what messages are we consuming based on kind of like the entertainment industry, which their job is to entertain, right? It's not to like show really true lived experiences. And so I think that we're trying to counter that by offering narratives that have been created by folks with lived experiences. And another cool thing is, so we have all of our films are available for free online. So we have a huge collection that grows every month. And something we started doing a couple of years ago was we noticed that there were some gaps in representation, some voices and stories that weren't being elevated or centered. And so we give out 10 small film production grants a year around particular topics. So for example, this year there are 10 films being produced, 5 of them around mental illness within the Black community and 5 of them around mental illness with the immigrant experience. And so in years past, we've been able to look at the culture of masculinity, Indigenous communities, survivors of sexual violence. And so, you know, trying to always cultivate and search for true lived stories so that we can offer multiple perspectives. And so it doesn't have to fall on, for example, if one student is talking about their experience, it doesn't have to just fall on that student. We can provide these films and these pieces of art for folks to really connect with a lot of different stories.
Oh, wow. That is so powerful, because I feel like in a classroom, when there's one student who's in a minority of some sort of identity, they often have this like weird role of being a spokesperson for that, and that's so unfair to them. So by having this artwork that tells different versions of narratives, by having multiple narratives about different identities and different topics, those people don't have to be singled out, and they don't have to be a token of anything.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that if anyone is watching and would like to submit a film or has a story, all of that info is on our website, and literally anyone can apply for a grant or submit a film to our monthly film competition. But yeah, that was just my like, here's how everyone can get involved sort of thing.
Everyone getting involved. Speaking of that, I would like to open this up to everyone on the couch.
Let's get involved.
This was our transition.
Yes, our transition slide from our couch to yours. We are How's About Charlie?
I was gonna ask you all a question about mental health. I'll transition into your set, and then afterwards I want to talk to you all about your music. But I feel like there's a lot of, especially directed towards young people, there's a lot of film and TV that talks about mental health and like sort of controversy around like certain shows that might not like deal with it as seriously, or maybe like they over exaggerate things. And I wonder if all three of you, if you had any examples of TV shows, books, or music that really talked about those kinds of topics in a way that really resonated with you and you thought like was really enriching or supportive in your life.
That is a good question.
My mind is just jumping to like all of the films that are with Impact Library.
Cancel your Disney Plus subscriptions and just go with Art with Impact.
Yeah, have you all seen anything lately? Or
I watched something. It's funny that you're asking that question, because I watched something last night actually, that I felt kind of the opposite way about. Well, I don't know. Okay, so the movie is Dr. Marston and the Wonder Women, and it's about the development of the character of Wonder Woman, and the creator was actually polyamorous, and kind of, you know, put her in this light of it just talks about how the character was created, but I felt like it was over dramatized and just kind of, I liked it because polyamory is something I'm interested in, but it was also, you know, it felt a little too trying to appeal to a certain, I don't know, gaze. Yeah.
Totally.
Like overtly objectifying of women in a way.
Fetishizing.
Yeah, definitely fetishizing. So that's something, I mean, it doesn't, I don't know that it has to do with mental health specifically, but it's an example of something that
They're kind of exaggerating things.
yeah,
or
yeah,
kind of
definitely. That's
thing,
I mean,
yeah.
that's at the forefront of my mind anyway. But
Totally.
Yeah.
I would say the one thing that comes directly to mind, which only because I've been so obsessed with their work this summer, and Gemini's newly released album, Give or
Yes.
Taker, I think really tenderly fronts questions about addiction, identity, a different kind of masculinity, and I so appreciate their approach. Yeah, I would say that one definitely sticks out for me.
Can you say the name again, please?
And Gemini, and the album is Give or Taker.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. Let's spell it in the comments. I'll put it in the comments for everybody.
Yay.
Did you have one, Beth, before we transition?
Oh gosh, I just want to like piggyback on Amanda's answer because that album is fantastic.
It's beautiful.
And
It's really beautiful.
everyone should listen to it.
Well, thank you so much for talking about art with impact and sharing those examples with us. And speaking of really beautiful music, we're ready for How's About Charlie? And so before you do the transition one more time, because I really want you to be able to sell it, I just want to you. So How's About Charlie are a folk quartet from Providence, Rhode Island, obsessed with layered vocal harmonies and soothing acoustics. They are also a couple of friends in love with each other's sounds. Here we go. Please do the transition again. It was really cool.
Get
one more
it's a
time.
sign. Hello.
From our couch to yours, we are How's About Charlie? Woo.
The light? Oh no, we have to have
We
it
need
on.
It helps. Okay, so Ghost is first. How can I sleep at night with the whispers of the words that I never had a chance to say when you were my love? It was my fear and pride that kept my mouth shut tight, nestled in my throat like birds ready to fly, to fly, to fly. There they would wither and die, emerging in dead of night, to go round my ears with want, birth of a ghost. This phantom regret found me weak and wanting. I guess that makes me just right for the haunting. Ooh, ooh,
That song was called Ghosts.
Yeah.
Written by Amanda.
Oh,
Woo.
what
we got next?
Sorry, just like
Oh, great.
cracking.
Nobody knows action.
If you've seen us play before, you've probably seen this song. This is one of our favorites. It's called Cat Collar.
It's fun. Feel free to sing along at home. You'll catch on. 2, 3. Could you call my name? No, it's not because I'm vain. My name's not you, my name's not hey, my name's not come here pretty lady.
No, I'm not rude or cold, not trying to be cute if I act bold.
Cat caller. Meow, 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 meow. 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 I bought these clothes for cheap. I'm wearing them for me. I see you peeking. You keep moseying, keep walking. Cat caller. Cat caller. Cat caller. Cat calling. Meow, 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 meow. 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 Hey, mommy, what's your deal?
Hey baby, how you feel?
How you feel?
Damn girl, get over here.
Where you going? Where you going? Cat caller. Cat caller. You cat calling. Meow, 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 meow. 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 Meow, meow, meow.
1, 2, 3, 4.
These pussycats, they're grabbing back our closet bed, and we ain't scared of you, you cat caller. These pussycats, they're grabbing back our closet bed, and we ain't scared of you, you cat caller.
We did it!
Okay.
Sunshine. Oh, it's sunshine time.
Sunshine.
We're bringing in
Bringing in
guitarist extraordinaire,
star guitarist.
Dylan Titus. Will be joining us. I don't think they can see.
Yeah.
Want to wave hello? This is Dylan Titus, everyone.
Hello.
Alright. The sunshine is in my eyes, and I can see the miles in front of me. It makes me believe the past is gone and the present is where I need to be. The future seems so bright, but I have to go, or I won't be getting sleep tonight. Tomorrow never knows. Today is what I have, and it is mine. Sunshine, ooh. Sunshine, ooh. Sunshine, ooh. It is mine. After the night, I'm sitting in my room, watching the moon go round my window.
by Nicole.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
With the bass.
Oh,
What's
Oh, no.
next?
this
We're playing
holiday.
this holiday.
Oh, sweet.
So
Cool.
now, featuring
Two
a
more
song
songs.
by Beth Killian that I mean, maybe you want to introduce it because it's your song.
Sure.
But it's really beautiful in my opinion.
Yeah, this is a thanks. This is a tune called "This Holiday." It's the first song that I've ever released as a solo artist. So it's on Spotify under Bethany Killian. You can find our music as a group on Spotify as well. How's About Charlie? We've got one album up there. We're working on a second, and writing and doing things. But anyway, this song is called "This Holiday," and I'm just gonna play it.
Yeah,
It's
I
about-
think it speaks for itself.
Yeah, it's about this year. I had big plans for this year. My eyes were hungry and wide, and I felt no fear. Talks of travel to far places, dancing in tight spaces, giant meals with family. But so much for dreaming when the world had different schemes. I felt stuck right here, and who knows when this will end, when we'll go back to how it began. December begs our bodies to be surrounded by friends. But love doesn't have to exclusively thrive through kisses and bars at the stroke of midnight. Though the lights at Rockefeller cast shadows on fewer souls. It's getting old, 'cause I just wanna hold you this holiday. This holiday, I just wanna hold you this holiday. And I had big plans for me and you this year. I finally felt ready to take off my mask and share my atmosphere. Now my circle's getting smaller while the nights are getting longer. I'm longing for everyday touch. We were strolling through our snow globe and sharing steaming cocoa. It's a fantasy of what it was. And who knows when this will end, when we'll go back to how it began. December begs our bodies to be surrounded by friends. But love doesn't have to exclusively thrive for kisses and bars at the stroke of midnight. Though the lights at Rockefeller now twinkle on fewer souls. It's getting old, 'cause I just wanna hold you this holiday. This holiday, I just wanna hold you this holiday. This holiday. And love isn't made by traditions we've saved. It's okay to change lanes. We can wait for the day when the lights at Rockefeller will shine. got such good harmonies. My gosh.
You have a beautiful song.
My goodness. Oh,
Makes
thanks.
it easy.
So we've got Glow and Pikachu.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're actually doing good on time.
Sweet.
Cool.
Did you do the bass?
Yeah, you want to play bass?
Do you want to play bass on Glow?
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Dylan's gonna play some acoustic bass on here.
So fun.
Cool. All right. Dozens of little light bulbs milling about the place, emitting a heat that's holding things that can't be erased.
People are moving to and from, eyes falling shut. Rhythms of green and tones of gold enhance what we've got.
I'm human, got my shadows just like yours. Lightning of our dancing will shatter the shadows and light our way home. Zee-ba-ba, zee-ba-ba. My molars are rotting, my morals are too. Been too many nights that I've chased after who isn't this time. Who's the next one? Who will dance way too close to the sun? I'm human. Can my shadows pose as far? Keep moving till our hazy surrealism reaches a point we call home. Zee-ba-ba, zee-ba-ba. All gotta glow, and I've gotta know yours. All gotta glow, and I wanna show mine.
We've all got to glow, and I've got to know
Yours. We've all gotta glow. I want it to show. Cool.
Like that.
sick. All right.
Sweet.
We got one more song, right?
One more song.
Yeah, so Pikachu.
Yeah. Do we want to say anything or just do it?
I'll just play it. Huh? It's, yeah. Today is our friend Tim Davis's birthday, and he is no longer here with us, but he is here with us. So I'm gonna play this song for Tim. For Tim. Whenever you're angry, whenever you're scared, remember that somebody cares. If you get lonely, have a cannoli.
most of the time.
I forget how much I'm wasting.
You're either growing or you're dying.
The choice is ours, and like a willow, you gotta
Build on that sorrow.
give back to yourself all the love that you
Let people borrow.
Some of the best things life can bring
Leave kind of suddenly.
This is what I think about
Down by the pika tree.
some of the best things life can bring.
Leave kind of suddenly. This is what I think about down by the pika tree. Oh, down by the pika tree. Down by the pika tree.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Tim.
Happy birthday, Tim!
Cool.
All
right.
Woo! Yeah,
Thanks for
21
letting me join
minutes. We could maybe do one more
Should we-
song.
I don't know. Connor, do we have time for one more, or should we
One more.
All right.
Okay. What do you think, Honeybrook?
Yeah, let's do Honeybrook.
Okay.
I think probably not.
Thanks for letting me join in.
Yeah, thank you, Dylan.
Thanks, Dylan.
Thanks, Dylan.
Oh, thank you.
This song is called Honeybrook. It's about water.
Drink
Speaking
water.
of.
Drink water.
It's about water,
This is a reminder.
hydration.
You should drink water.
I didn't come here for answers. I don't know what I'm looking for. Didn't wanna learn my future. Can't claim that I'm craving more. You ever feel like your body leaves behind your conscious mind? What's there to find? To find except now. We're floating down Honeybrook and caught in the rapids. Some pass through, others stay there, stuck in their habits.
thank you for having us. Oh, are we answering questions?
Yeah.
I think
I don't.
so.
I think
You
I
to
don't
sign
know.
us off before.
Hi,
Sorry, Connor. Don't know yet.
Wow. There were probably 3 times that I almost cried. I think
I did cry at your show. You know I did. You
Yeah.
saw me as a baby.
I'm glad.
Yes.
My goal is to make everybody cry. But the Pika song, the Pika tree was so beautiful. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't a Pikachu song, but I like really moved into it.
I'll have to make you a parody then.
It was just so full of love. And then, a good sad holiday song. That really always gets me. I'm ready. But the very first song too, when all 3 of you first started singing, I didn't know how much I missed hearing human voices all together. And I think that's something so special that the 3 of you bring. And the 4/5 of you, when when you have Aaron and Dylan there too. But yeah, I was just so moved and struck by your harmonies throughout, but like especially in the beginning. And it was just, yeah, it was such a gift to like have you all in the same room and be able to experience that. So thank you for that. And our first question, besides now that I've just complimented you all the time, we have to get some compliments as the starting point for questions. Can you talk about the process of writing those harmonies? Like how do how does it work, and like what kinds of music theory are you thinking about, or what's the process like of creating those harmonies that feel so central to your music in this band?
Well, we all have a background in, I think, in chorus, and at least for me, I learned a lot about harmonies in high school, and being a part of, you know, just being a part of singing groups.
Yeah, and I think what's cool about I don't know music theory.
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
just I don't
No,
know
yeah,
anything of it.
it's-
And what was really special about when the 3 of us started singing together is so we had all Amanda and I had been going to this open mic because we knew each other from college, and we met Nicole at the open mic. We all heard each other sing, and we were like, "Oh, let's like hang out one day and learn a cover song." And it's interesting because we just sort of like naturally found our parts. Like in the beginning when we started singing together and writing together, it sort of naturally flowed that I would just always sing the really low parts, and Nicole would sing the really high parts, and Amanda would sing in the
I'll
middle.
sing the low
But I
part.
think what we've been experimenting with, like, so for example, on Ghost, that's the only song that I've ever sung that high on before in my life. And so we're experimenting now with like kind of changing up the parts. But yeah, I would say the process is just really organic. We just sort of listen for what part is missing, and like one person sings something, one person layers on, and then the third person just fills in whatever's missing. And sometimes like Nicole or Amanda will sing a harmony that I wasn't thinking of, and at first I'm like, wait, that's not the right one, and then I'm like, oh, that's way better than the one I was thinking of. So it's sort of just like a collaborative, organic process. But yeah, I don't know, Amanda, if you wanted to.
Yeah, I
add
guess
anything.
I would just add, and I totally agree with what both of y'all have been saying. That like I think a lot of our work happens when we're in the same room together, and right now it's a difficult thing to accomplish in a safe way, and it takes a little bit more preparation. And so, but like being in the same room together, and I don't know, yeah, just like getting to kind of listen in on different things that each person is bringing, different new material, is I think where a lot of it just comes from, kind of off the cuff, and then we melt or like forge it after a couple of ideas are laid out there.
I think we're all great listeners too. That's a big part of it, is listening, knowing when to be quiet, knowing when to chime in, is really important. So that's how we collaborate too, I think. But
As I interrupt you for another question, as you talk about listening, what is going off of that? What is the process, especially this year when you're working on this new album and you're in separate places? What has that process been like? And I have another question after that, but go ahead.
It's been hard.
yeah,
We've been when we do get together, so like Amanda said, we have gotten together a number of times, but it's been with like preparation and quarantining and testing and making sure that we can all be in the same place safely for times like this or for events. And during, you know, we've done some things virtually where like for the holiday song, I wrote it, I sent it to them, I played it for them a couple times at like outside venues that we'd been at over the last few months. And so kind of like listening to each other's recordings and having ideas. But yeah, it's been tough because it doesn't really, like Amanda said, it doesn't really solidify unless we're all in the same place. So it's been challenging.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting used to kind of being in our own separate places anyway, just by nature of like, you know, I live in Medford now, and Beth actually just moved back from Connecticut to this area that Nicole is in, so that's a wonderful thing.
So she's like the only human that I see, like for real.
And so I think, you know, part of it is a practice of, especially the two of you, I feel like maybe me less so, you know, people working on material alone, maybe with the group in mind, maybe not, and bringing that to, you know, when we do make time together. I think like a lot of that kind of jump starting happens on like individually, and then you know, once together, like there's an opportunity to bring people in.
So this question, it pops into my head mostly because your promo picture looks so much like the Beatles, like a really fun Beatles vibe. And I really love the idea of you all being like the new Beatles because your music is so much fun like theirs. I'm saying it now.
Shit. Thanks. Well, they're right here. If you can see them. Can you see them?
There's a photo up.
Oh, great. And I love stories where they say like one Beatle brings this kinds of creative choices and another Beatle brings like these kinds of creative choices or perspective. And I wonder if you each have like a sense of the different perspectives or creativity that you bring to these songs, whether you're the person who originates the song or if you're adding on to somebody else's like original idea.
That is such a good question.
Yeah.
We're all just like, oh, but like my instinct is just like, wow, but they're both like Nicole and Amanda are just like the most creative people I've met in terms of just like hearing things that I don't. And I think when we started, I had been writing solo things for a while, and so I think we workshopped on my songs primarily in the beginning, and I think that like the layers that Amanda and Nicole provided just like transformed them. But I think, I don't know, now like Amanda was saying, like all of us write equally and layer on. And yeah, I don't know if it's so much that, and y'all can obviously disagree, but like my instinct is just think like, well, when someone brings a song forward, then they are kind of like the anchor of that song, and the meaning of that song is so connected to that person who wrote it. And sometimes we don't talk about what the meaning was, and like for some songs, like I think we can kind of assume based on knowing each other, but also we don't really sit and talk about like, well, this is why I wrote it, this is what this image means, this is why it's special. And so I think that because of that, there's that freedom for the other two folks who didn't write it to kind of like bring things that might not have been there because it's a different vibe, or because it brings up different images, or because it reminds us of different memories, because we're all individual humans with individual histories. So I think that that's been a pretty cool thing that has happened. So our roles almost like switch. There's like the anchor person who writes it, and then the other folks just sort of adding to it. Yeah.
I think that our next record, whenever it does come out, it's going to be very different in a very good way, because we will have had this time in isolation, first of all. I've written a lot of things. I've written a lot of weird things. I've written a lot of dark things. And, I think for a long time I was kind of in the headspace of like, I want to write for How's About Charlie. And I've purposely written cheery and bright and acoustic. And I'm like, no. But like, I don't have to, it doesn't have to be this one sound. I can bring other elements of what I'm writing into it. So I guess I'm trying to get more comfortable with writing in general, but with kind of bringing a different tone and different vibe to it. So I think all of us, you know, once we have our pieces ready and we bring it, I think it's going to be a very different listening experience from what we've written previously, in a good way.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I don't really know how to how to top what y'all have been saying. I think, you know, kind of pivoting back to Connor's question, your question. It's harder, I think, to talk about like yourself versus the people that you work with. And so, you know, not to, I think, catty corner either one of you into like, you know, a role or a task, but I think, you know, something that Beth often brings to the table is like a very like an easy storytelling, not easy in terms of easy reach, but like a really comfortable realistic narrative. I think you're really good at that. And Nicole, I think you are very good at how do I even, so I think that like a lot of the songs that you've brought to us, they take on different challenges, and I think that you're very good at bringing kind of a twist, not a twist, but like I think unique like junctures in songs, not just to break them up, but to I think like call in like different moments into your songwriting. So I think that's another thing that you bring amongst many.
and I think your imagery, Amanda, is like unparalleled. Like at the songs that you've written that you've brought, like Ghost, oh my gosh, like just it's, and November 8th, which we didn't play tonight, but I like every song that you've written, I've just been like completely
I want more.
and more so impressed by the like just the beautiful imagery that you're able to wrap in to it.
It's very poetic in a very stoic way. And I appreciate it. I want more of you. I want both of you to make solo records, and I want us to make records, and I want us just to have a giant catalog.
All the songs.
One day,
Connor.
That too. That sounds amazing. I think you were talking about going into new spaces, and if you went electric or like played with synths or did like something crazy with your instrumentation, I think those aspects of like accessibility and like that you were talking about, Beth brings about being so connected and easy to connect to, and then sort of the uniqueness and the unique junctures that Nicole brings, and then that imagery and vividness that Amanda brings, and then the love that all three of you like shine with when you're all together. I think all of that will come through in whatever kind of instrumentation or genre that you guys choose next for whatever projects are in the future.
Thanks, Connor.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, you're the best. Thanks so much for having us as a part of this event. Like we're super, super pumped and grateful.
Yeah.
Maybe the best part to happen out of this whole lockdown is that you guys could be part of the festival, because it's virtual.
It's been great to listen and to learn.
I've also like, so I was like fangirling so hard for all the other acts. Like we were supposed to be practicing, and I was like, no, I need to keep
It's
watching.
just so, and all the artists that you have, I'm really impressed, and it gives me a lot of hope, because I'm somebody who I feel like I'm really bad at listening to modern music, if that makes sense. Like I lock myself in a room and I'll just listen to 60s and 70s and older stuff. And I really like what I'm hearing from people in our generation. I think it's great. There's a lot of melding of different ideals for writing and melodies and things. So yeah, I'm jazzed about it.
That actually segues me really well to my last little segment here for tonight's festival. Before I do, though, everybody make sure you donate in the link below. And you can also find all the links to like Art with Impact and How's About Charlie and all the other artists in the link below. But the Festival of Lights and Sounds, you guys can hang out for this last segment. The Festival of Lights and Sounds is a Hanukkah pun because Festival of Lights is the name for Hanukkah. And there's also a lot of other holidays for different cultures that involve lights because it's sort of lighting up the darkness of the winter. So there's like Diwali, for example, or some pagan holidays. But I thought I would light a candle as sort of like a little Hanukkah nod, just to add, because Eight Crazy Nights is also a the Adam Sandler movie, so that's a pun. But instead, I decided that I was going to do like a quote every night. So I'm going to read a quote to kind of end us off and take us into the night as sort of a little light. Oh yes, please, that's perfect. So this is from, it's sort of a long passage, but it's from Immersion Strategy by Adrienne Marie Brown. And it talks a lot about what you all have been talking about and demonstrating. So here we go. Adrienne Marie Brown from Emergent Strategy. And I'm cutting little pieces out of a couple pages. One of my favorite questions today is, how do we turn our collective full-bodied intelligence towards collaboration? If that is the way we will survive. One thing I have observed, when we are engaged in acts of love, we humans are at our best and most resilient. The love and romance that makes us want to be better people, the love of children that makes us change our whole lives to meet their needs, the love of family that makes us drop everything to take care of them, the love of community that makes us work tirelessly with broken hearts. Perhaps humans' core function is love. Love leads us to observe in a much deeper way than any other emotion. I think of how delightful it is to see something new in my lovers' faces, something they may only know from inside as a feeling. If love were the central practice of a new generation of organizers and spiritual leaders, it would have a massive impact on what we considered organizing. If the goal was to increase love rather than winning or dominating a constant opponent, I think we could actually imagine liberation from constant oppression. We would suddenly be seeing everything we do, everyone we meet, not through the tactical eyes of war, but through eyes of love. We would see that there's no such thing as a blank canvas, an empty land, or a new idea, but everywhere there is complex, ancient, fertile ground full of potential. We would understand that the strength of our movement is in the strength of our relationships, which can only be measured by their depth. Scaling up would mean going deeper, being more vulnerable, and more empathetic. What does that depth require from us, from me? In my longing for depth, I have been rerouting in the earth, in myself and my creativity, in my community, in my spiritual practices, honing in on work that is not only meaningful, but feels joyful, listening with less and less judgment to the ideas and efforts of others, having visions that are long-term. Another part of walking this practice has been the practice of humility. Enough humility to learn, to be taught, to have teachers. The Sufi poet Hafiz said, "How do I listen to others? As if everyone were my teacher, speaking to me their cherished last words. I am listening now with all of my senses, as if the whole universe might exist just to teach me more about love." Yeah, she's pretty great. So yesterday I read a quote and I just kind of was like, all right, peace out everyone, bye. But I wonder if you guys have any thoughts that you'd like to share based on like your reaction to the quote, and then we'll say goodnight to everyone.
Wow.
No pressure.
Yeah, just like interdependence and how crucial, like listening to try and see and understand. Yeah, that was just a beautiful passage.
It truly, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that. That was great.
I've been reading some bell hooks recently, which I think speaks so much to like that passage that you just read, in that, like, you know, a love ethic as opposed to, you know, operating out of a place of scarcity or competition, has, you know, abounding possibility for radical change. And, you know, I guess, yeah, just gonna end it there.
Are you reading all about love?
Yes.
Me too.
Oh my God.
Right, we're reading the same book right now.
That's funny.
Yeah, All About Love is a wonderful book.
Abounding possibility. I love that. I think that is our light that was leading us into this wintry night. Thank you to everyone for being part of the Festival of Lights. Thank you to How's About Charlie and Lily Desmond and Helena La Rota Lopez, to Alexander, and of course Art with Impact. And yeah, thank you to everyone for watching and for being a part of this. We still have 6 crazy nights left with probably 20 or plus artists of all different genres, and it's going to be wonderful. So please donate in the link below, and stay tuned 7 p.m. every night until Saturday, and we'll see you all soon. All right.
Thank you, Connor.
Thank you.
All right. I ended the stream, but we're still